Good afternoon, everybody. Beautiful, bright, breezy at the Stoop. But don't be fooled by the perfect setting. This is dog-eat-dog territory now. Not quite a playoff knockout, mathematically, but it isn't too far off. And for these two, jeopardy certainly the greater for Quins, given where they sit, but certainly the numbers won't look good for whoever comes second best here this afternoon. So there are 11 of the Quins 15 that were on the end of that Dublin walloping in the Champions Cup. One big boost is the return of Caden Murley to the wing, injured on England duty in the Six Nations, fit for the run-in though, taking his place on the left wing. And Cameron Anderson replacing Nick David late on. Luke Northmore included at inside centre. Danny Kerr lining up at scrum half, with Will Porter working his way through return to play protocols. Up front, Ernie Herbst drafted into the second row alongside Chandler Cunningham-South. First Premiership start at lock, one of those England men who've not played here at the Stoop in 3 long months. What about the Sharks? Well, they are as strong as they've been this season in the eyes of Alex Sanderson. They make 3 changes to the team that performed so well out in Toulouse. Bevan Rodd back at loosehead, looking to press his claims to an England summer tour place. Ben Bamba is picked at lock alongside Johnny Hill, and they have just one Curry available. Tom happily recovered from a bang to the wrist last time out in France. Ben suffering from illness this week. George Ford steering things from 10, so good against Toulouse. Alex Sanderson, of course, was urging his Lions case. Marcy White developing nicely in the midfield, and Joe Carpenter restored at fullback, having sat out the Champions Cup round of 16. So a few head-to-heads to get your teeth into there, Flats.
Well, I like the 2 loose heads actually today, Ali. Finn Baxter we kind of know about. He's made waves, very, very promising young player. But because he's so good, we risk forgetting about the others. Bevan Rodd, for me, offers a huge amount. And if he can nail his set piece today and for the next 6 months or so, firstly, I think he walks onto the England tour this summer, probably with Baxter, because Genge goes with the Lions. But Bevan Rodd is a definite England prospect for the next 5 to 10 years. Fantastic player.
Always knew that Flats would go for the loose heads, didn't we? There's some great matchups in the back line. Can't wait to see Murley versus Roebuck, who's getting better and better week in, week out. You can't look any further than the 10, Smith versus Ford. And I like to think that each one's going to take a little bit of brilliance from the other. So watch for Ford making little sniping breaks and scoring tries. Maybe Smith will just drop into the pocket and get a drop goal just to get one up on his opposite number.
Sale with their final words to each other, looking to cement a late-ish charge towards the top 4. Not quite in the same bracket as a year ago, of course, that dramatic push to the playoffs that they managed last season. They were well off the pace for much of the early part of the campaign, super strong at home, but until recently unable to buy a win on the road. They've now won 2 of the last 3 away, including that remarkable shutout of Bristol at Ashton Gate. It's the kind of performance, that one, Austin, I think, that will stick in the memory now for playoff time. Defences are going to matter. Yeah,
if they mirror that performance that they did at Ashton Gate, they go on to win today without doubt. And like they said in the build-up, Quins have had 2 games where they've been hammered against 2 very physical sides. That is something Sale are on their day. Exceptionally physical. Not necessarily with ball in hand, but definitely defensively.
So much quality all around. George Ford playing some of his very best rugby right now. Something of a point to prove, which seems like a strange thing to be saying about a man who's won 99 caps for his country, but he'll want to press his Lions case for sure. So Quins, well, reliably inconsistent this season. Won 6, lost 6, drawn 1. Brilliant at times. That double over Sarri sticks in the mind, but all too often a little less than the sum of their parts. Maybe home comforts will bring out the best of them today. And they'll be looking to that man as ever. 1 or 2 things playing on their minds. Let's not forget that 62-0 thumping at the hands of Leinster a fortnight ago in the round of 16 in the Champions Cup. Statistically, Quins' worst defeat in the Pro era. We all know how good Leinster are, of course. But that scoreline definitely left some scars. It'll be really interesting to see their reaction today. They can ill afford a slip-up at home against a key playoff rival. I think you could almost say it might prove terminal.
I think Marcus Smith actually is the barometer of that, isn't he? Yes, he's had some internal issues to deal with, the way he's dealt with in the Six Nations. May arguably didn't do anything wrong, but sometimes it just doesn't go for you. When that's happening, you've got two choices. You can either sulk, go inside yourself, or you can say, actually, I'm going to show you lot what I'm about. And that's exactly what Quins need to do today if they're going to go on to win.
It's the perfect stage for it. And the perfect stage for him, potentially. A blast of the Matt Carley whistle. And we're underway. First touch of the ball for the ever-durable Rob du Preez, remarkably playing his 69th consecutive Premiership match. Extraordinary statistic. Tyrone Green, oh, beautiful, right off the bat. Quins tearing upfield, and inside that 22 through Cameron Anderson, a late inclusion in the starting 15. Green, who began it all from his own 22-metre line, is now approaching that of the opposition. Curry having a little dabble.
Both of you.
Sale have infringed at the breakdown. The penalty is coming here for Harlequins. Care.
Penalty advantage, Danny.
Whips it out for Lamositelli. Delay on the kick through from Smith. What balance to that.
Still playing.
And dropping on it is Carpenter rather desperately, and back we come for that breakdown penalty.
Well, he dropped on it in the end. I think what you really want is someone to be absolutely nosediving towards that ball at fullback. He tried to almost use a bit of Manchester born and bred footballing skill to get it around.
Then through the gate.
Don Brandt, that needed dropping on quicker.
That through the gate.
What a start to the game, though. Quins top of the stats, aren't they? Meters for counter-attack, and that was a prime example of it. Really good counter-attack. Tyrone Green just gets to the short side, makes somebody make a decision, step in, gets his hands free. Look at this. Lovely offload, and then what about this for a tackle and chase back Cowan-Dickie?
Then come through the gate.
That is absolute try-saver on Anderson. That's hooker chasing winger. All about heart and desire to get there. Otherwise, that's at least 5 points to Quins.
It's a great tackle, or should he have given that?
You just don't know. You don't expect a hooker to catch you, do you? Doesn't play a lot on the wing, if at all, I don't think, Anderson.
He's been deployed in various positions. He's something of a utility back.
Oh, they're useless utility backs.
Didn't get you anywhere, did it?
No.
So here's Marcus Smith with the first kick from the tee. He's been in remarkable form with the boot, and he's opening Quins' account here. Despite a stiff breeze, Harlequins lead by 3 points to 0. And here was the break.
Yeah, it's dangerous, isn't it? You can't allow second row to be isolated. Even you've got to get tighter. Green's always going to try and get to the shoulder of him, get him long in the tackle.
When you're ready, George.
I think as counterintuitive as it is, you've got to keep closing the space on Tyrone Green. The minute you get there and get worried about him and sit on your heels, he makes a half break like that. You've got to keep closing him down.
Here's Cunningham South, bruising run directly into a Poku for jaw. Finn Baxter continuing the motion. He's wrestled backwards though by that Sale defence.
Use it.
And Danny Kerr at the base. Will Porter recovering, by the way, still from a bang to the head. And going through those return to play protocols.
Quins on the line.
Just thought that the first carry from Cunningham South really direct, set your stall out into a Poku for jaw. It was impressive. And then Finn Baxter tries to do the same with Tom Curry. Doesn't quite work. Head first into Curry. There are better options.
There's Cowan-Dickie's delivery. Picked out by Johnny Hill, who's playing some really good rugby now as well, approaching some of his best form. Good drive on here from the Sharks. Cowan-Dickie has it, and Quinn struggling to hold it. But Matthew Carley
men in front of the ball.
Felt there was obstruction in the drive.
Well, it's all very well breaking off a drive. They're moving forward, but you have to break off as one unit. You can't have truck and trailer. You can't have people breaking off independently ahead of the ball, effectively obstructing. So keep your eye on where the ball is with Cowan-Dickie at the back. Not
That's
quite
really,
sure.
really clear. 3 of you came off in a pod with 2 in front of the ball carrier.
They did come off in a pod, but it's not their fault. There were no Quins defenders there
on the line. Thank you.
to cover them. Perhaps Cowan-Dickie needed a call there from up front to break off.
So against the wind, Smith struggling to make too much ground via the kick, but they're into opposition territory and he's threatening the line himself. Forward with the tackle, but early in the air from the line out.
Interesting there how, if you stay on this, keep your eye on Marcus Smith. He waits and waits and waits, and then he just accelerates onto that ball. He lets the ball travel perhaps a millisecond further just to change the angle on George Ford. Just keeping him interested.
A couple of moments from Sale have cost them around about 40-odd metres, and they're now facing a Harlequins line out inside their 22. Jean-Luc Dupré, the man singled out by Matthew Carley for the line-out offence.
7, happy, comfortable.
Jack Walker, up goes Cunningham South. Good delivery for Kerr. That might have been forwards. Northmore on the move into the 22. Kerr again, little inside ball, and Cunningham racing clear! What a start from Quins! The line so sharp from the flanker.
It's clever play, isn't it, from Quins? Are they going to go back and just check that initial ball off the line out? Because it did look very flat at best. But then they get away, they go through the phases. I think it's Johnny Hill again that gets done. This is the pass. That's forward, isn't it? That's very close. I mean, it should be looked at, I'm sure they will. But then this play's lovely. Ball back on the inside, and it's Johnny Hill who just gets caught. Lovely timing of the pass from Don Brandt. Gets the fend out. It's 2 breaks down Johnny Hill's channel. He won't be happy with that, will he? Going high.
I just think that easy 2 for Marcus Smith, but if you watch Johnny Hill, I think he actually he collides with the decoy runner. I'm not sure who it is. It might be Jack Walker, but keep your eye on Johnny Hill here, the big number 5. There's somebody come across there, just whacks him, and he doesn't quite recover in time.
There's the pass from the line out.
I mean,
it's a mile forward.
It's so far forward, that pass, that Sale can rightly feel aggrieved. Regardless, Kerr inside the 22, trying to, I think, chip over the defence. A little ambitious. First try, by the way, for Jack Cunningham in 18 months. And a really significant one, giving them the perfect platform.
Off the back of a pass so forward, it could be American football.
Yes, this is true.
You're right about Johnny Hill getting blocked, though, wasn't he?
Nice and steady.
He just got stepped. Got hit with the overs runner. Knocked him back 2 yards.
Yeah, to his credit,
line, he got back in position.
He's not waving at the ref saying, sir, sir, sir. Maybe, as much as we don't want to see that, he might have been well advised to call the ref to have a look at that and say, somebody whack me then.
Bind! Set! Use it!
It's there for Don Brandt. Northmore cutting a nice line, driving through the gain line. Back to the short side they come. Here's the try scorer, Cunningham.
Use it!
Might not have been impacting the try scoring charts too much this season, but the turnover charts, they're all his. Roebuck out of the sunshine. Met well on that 10-metre line. Forward. And wide they go. Marcy White driving hard beyond halfway. Forward again. First time Sale have really been able to put any sort of attacking shape on the field. Forward. Dupré, a lovely delay. Again, they're through the gain line. Quinn's driven off the ball.
On top of the ball, not underneath it.
Here's Rod. In goes Evans again. Oh, he's nicked it. These two together are just such a nuisance at the breakdown.
That's 39 this season so far between the two of them. Nightmare to play against if you're not exceptionally tight at the breakdown.
George Ford.
Out
That's
the
done
10,
for Murley.
Yeah,
Carpenter off in pursuit of this one. Cunningham never looked entirely comfortable under that.
Use it!
He didn't, but he got his ball in. He got his body in between the ball and the chaser, didn't he? So they actually couldn't get around him.
But it wasn't the other way around. It wasn't painful.
Use it! No, it's fine.
Carpenter
Play
did
on, good
well.
contact.
Rose just enough above Murley. Forward again to Van Rijn. Forward now for Dupree. Reed snared low and early. Strong work from Anderson.
Got away with that Reed there. He held that in the tackle and then got back to his feet. I think he got away with a lucky one.
Thank you, Ernie.
To the short side they go. Here's Curry. Driving hard upfield. War. Poku Fujo. Just, oh, they've been dispossessed for a moment, but they got the penalty.
Put the ball down. Put the ball down. No, move away. Put the ball down. Come here. If you unnecessarily do something after the whistle again, I'm going to penalise you. That's your only warning. Back 10.
Wasn't Jack Walker stopping him getting the ball away then and playing quickly? I think Will Evans got to try and move quicker there. The whistle's gone. Jack Walker's keeping the ball away, knows what he's doing. I think what we have to do officially is stand by the ref there. Quite right, you can't do that, Gus
Jack,
Ward, but in reality,
Jack,
that is quite annoying.
put the ball down next time.
That's Jack Walker's fault, I reckon. Oz, you'd never have done that, would you?
Well, I'd have hit him with a baseball bat round the back of the head to get the ball back quicker.
5. Who's the
Pet
receiver?
hate, isn't it, as a scrum half? You want to go quick, you keep the tempo for the game, and then you forwards just spoil it for everyone.
Right, Sharks in meaningful territory here. And the line out is good.
Advantage too late with the sack.
Secured by Hill. They've got the penalty, and now they get the drive on as well. Cowan-Dickey at the forefront of this. Over the line. Matthew Carley unsighted.
This is unreal power if he's got to the line.
Well in whack. Stu, come to you.
Yes, Matthew.
We don't have a clear picture of the ball on the ground, so the on-field decision is no try. Can we just double check? Else we come back for the penalty advantage.
Understood.
Just here, if you look, Quins are well within their rights to pull that down if it's immediate and if a maul hasn't been formed. But what Sale do to counter that is they get lads in really quick as the studs of the jumper hit the ground. So it's immediately, instantly a maul. So Quins are not allowed to pull that over.
Try.
Well, that is tight. Looks like a try.
That's a try, isn't it? Some part of the ball is on the ground, isn't it? There might be a hand underneath a part of the ball, but some part of the ball has touched the line there.
Matthew?
Yeah.
Just going to bring this last one up again, slow it down so we can see the ball reach the line.
Okay. Take your time.
Stuart Terridge is our TMO.
There, try.
Yeah. Ball on Payne.
Matthew?
Yes,
The
Stu.
ball reaches the line, it is a try.
Okay, so we have a decision. The ball reached the line, so the on-field decision of no try will be overturned, and it is a try.
Luke Cowan-Dickey with Sale's first, his 7th in the league, and the sort of raw power that Sale have become known for
On the cut in the
across
grass,
this
thank you,
league, the sort of raw power that could really do some damage over the long term here this afternoon, Flats.
There is a lot of power in there. You're right, Al, and you're right, Oz, but actually it's really clever. It's well coached, that line out. Just that little thing, the little extras to work off the ball, of getting all those lads in to officially make it a maul because of numbers that quick, means that suddenly Quins have to defend it as a maul when they didn't plan to. So, good prep.
Dupree entrusted with the goal-kicking duties, not George Ford this afternoon. Tricky breeze, as we were talking about earlier. And he's hooked that to the left-hand side of the post. But they're on the board. Quins 10, Sale 5.
You look how quickly they're in. It's always Quins' plan to sack that. You can see at the back, Ernie Herbs, it's always his plan to get his arms around the jumper and sack it. And the Quins lads all defend as if it's going to be sacked. They're all fanning out, ready to get on the fringes, but I'm afraid it was made a maul so quickly, they were caught off guard.
I think what will make it even more special for Luke Cowan-Dickey is it was his opposite number, Walker, who couldn't stop him from 6 metres out.
Taken into the 22.
You'd love
Sale
those
away there.
matchups as
Thank
a
you,
rugby player,
onside.
especially when you win them.
Ford down the middle, picks out his opposite man Smith, who sends this up for Tyrone Green. It's veered away rather wildly to the left on the breeze. Only Herbst is receiving a little bit of treatment.
It's a head injury. That's right.
And in the meantime, Cowan-Dickey sizing up a line out on the 10-metre line. Entirely sure the cause of this situation. It was an unconventional gather from the restart from Johnny Hill. There's the impact from Herbst.
I think he's just, his eye is, whatever it is, his left eye, his eye socket, his cheek, whatever, I think it's just caught the back of Johnny Hill's head then, on the way through.
No foul play, Matthew.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Stu. Play with one shot.
I mean, technically it was head on head. I'm not sure Johnny Hill's aware it even happened, but
I think it was Van Ryn's hand, actually. Accidentally hits him in the face, is it? Here. Yeah, just there.
oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the angle.
The TMO said there was no foul play. So right. Okay. You say just. On the line, yeah. Time on.
Up goes Dupree. Curry breaks away. Here's Van Ryn himself driving into Marcus Smith, laying it up for War. Maybe a little bit of added spice to that number 9 selection over the next few weeks. You'd expect now. Rafi Quirk is fit again. Murley wins the battle over Roebuck. First time out for Caden Murley since his injury in the Six Nations after making his debut in Dublin. Carpenter, pressure from Murley.
Tackle! Get out, Quins! Thank you.
Forward to Cowan-Dickey. Strong line speed from Quins. Much tighter drill defensively now under Jason Gilmore, but they found the width here. Sale, Reed, beyond halfway.
Clear the tackle first, don't drive through off your feet.
They're quite happy to play a lot of rugby in between the 10-metre line at the minute, aren't they, Sale? Get the ball into forward's hands, he has a look up, sees if he can control anyone defensively, then out to Rob Dupree, he does exactly the same. But it just feels like they need to give their back three the ball a little bit quicker, a little bit earlier and a bit more space. Because Quins are drifting really well. If you keep going ruck when you've got those back row boys of Evans and Kenningham, it normally ends up in a turnover.
Yeah, I always think
field position.
Yeah, quite often. I think as a defender, that bit of speculation from someone like Dupree at 13 actually makes it much easier for me. If he's speculating at high speed and making me make a decision, that's different, but he's not. He's hanging on and not giving it to the quicker lads.
This one's taken in by Bamba. They're trying to release Marassi White, trying to fill that kind of Tuolangi role in the midfield that they're lacking without Manu, of course, but the turnover has been affected by Quins.
Kenningham, oh no, it was Walker this time, I think.
There's Cunningham South, who's being buffeted in the tackle. Slips it away, though, and Smith looks to give them some breathing space. Carpenter in the backfield. Roebuck now. Good tackle from Northmore. Ford, wide, Dupree. Murley chasing across. Opoku for Jaw. Good footwork to get past two. And a third and a fourth. Opoku for Jaw just storming it into the 22. Incredible break. With an advantage now as well. Rod whips it out. Here's Tom Curry. Carpenter.
Tackle! Let go, Quins! Move back.
5 metres out. Sale all set up for Curry! So effective in the end. A relatively simple finish for the big open side, but a moment, David Flatman, for Asher Opoku for Jaw.
It was just a series of excellent players doing excellent things. The initial footwork from Poku Fajur was great to avoid Will Evans, but then he turned on the power, and there's lots of it. There's acceleration, there's balance. He's a very hard body shape to stop with all that power. Bevan Rodd then pulls out the left-handed scrum half pass off the floor, and George Ford, he did what Marcus Smith tried to do off that line out 10 minutes ago, if you remember. Waited for the ball and just hit it at a different angle, came back in, stitched up Chandler Cunningham himself, who couldn't quite adjust in time. And Tom Curry, who's never not been on it in his life, is bang on it. It's a really, really good try, that.
And the conversion is good. Sale in front, having been 10-0 down.
Yeah, Poku for sure. 6 defenders beaten in one run. That's your entire season in one go there, Flats. But this is all about Ford's ability to single out one defender. He steps all the way back into Baxter. So he's 3 defenders out, but he goes back inside 2, and he knows Curry's there. He knows he's coming. He's told him the ruck before, run at that hole, I will get you the ball. That is textbook play from that fly-off.
It's high-class stuff, that, isn't it? High-class stuff from a Poku Fajur, from George Ford.
6 defenders in one run.
Yeah.
How many did you ever?
I'm not sure I had a season that good, and that's not a joke. I'm sure I did. I did other stuff.
Other stuff.
Social sec.
Very, very important role, as we all know.
No, I blew to stop you because I thought you were going to kick. That's all right.
He's some unit, isn't he? Just that
time on
kind of freak strength for somebody so young that enables him to dominate in the set piece, and we've just seen the footwork and the power and the dexterity as well.
Backwards, play on. It's taken in.
Interesting call from Jean-Luc Dupree. Left that to Gus Ward to deal with.
Yeah, these younger guys are getting stronger and stronger, aren't they? They're starting on their weights earlier and earlier. I wonder how long it'll be before we get a Truman show where they get the embryo on the weights.
5 seconds. Come, John, move. Gus, no, not just that. You seem to have a nervous twitch when you're box kicking. Please don't make me think you're dummying. It's a scrum. It's a scrum.
It's an affliction, sir.
It's going to be really interesting to see whether that...
I'm just asking if that is the situation, but every time you box kick, you're doing this. So please stop.
Well, will that play on his mind? Because it's kind of habitual, I think.
Get much better pitch conditions in this.
In the absence of the ability to dummy,
yeah,
it's the only thing you got, right?
That's right. You know, you can't dummy, you can't move your head.
Oh, yeah.
Most scrum halves do it and get away with it. It's almost like making a point, isn't it?
I'm not sure what's wrong with that.
Well, he's moving his head as if he's got a motion to pick the ball up, but which you can't do. You can't dummy from the base of a ruck.
We're into a murky area, aren't we? What constitutes a dummy?
I just say I had a tick.
Stay there. Thank you.
That was forward as well.
Again. Do you know what?
Trying to make the most of it, but that has gone forwards.
Sorry, it's the second time we've seen a forward pass. Was that Northmore again, compared to Northwood? The timing isn't quite there at the back of set piece. It wasn't quite there on that first line out, which led to a try, by the way. And it wasn't quite there then. It's not quite cohesive yet, is it, in
All of
attack?
us could have done a bit better because when the pressure came, we all came down. So just a bit higher to start with. Feet up, both tighter, yeah? Yes. Thank you. Let's go again.
Northmore, who'll be wanting to try to cement his place on a summer tour with England to Argentina. You would think he's been in and around the England squad, part of the Autumn Nations setup and the wider Six Nations training squad. No caps yet.
Let's go, Ash. Come on, bro. Come on, Ash. I've got you, bro.
Crouch!
Bams, we need you. Bams, we need you. Go.
Bind! Set! Use it!
To Ford. Big distance on that. Wind behind him. Huge clearance.
Scrambles inside.
That is a monster.
I thought the wind was going the other way.
Let's have a little word with Byron McGuigan, part of the coaching setup, of course, with Sale in charge of their defence. Had to withstand quite a bit early on, Byron. How's your assessment of the way things are right now?
Yeah, look, that first 7 minutes we were really disappointed, the way we started. We just thought our first up collisions were really poor from a defensive point of view, and then just backed up too many penalties, so we just invited too much pressure, just piggybacked them up the field, and ultimately we paid the price. But I thought the way we reacted and the way we spoke behind the poles about how we attacked the next part of the game was really important, and we responded really well.
The ability to problem solve on the hoof, so important, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, you know, and I think we've got such great leaders in this team. So when we're behind the poles and we conceded that try, just the message there about how we attack the next thing was really important. And I thought the boys responded really well, as I just touched on. And hopefully we can just hold on to this momentum.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time, Barrett.
Thank you.
Out it comes from War. Bit more width from Ford. Here's Curry. Drag down. And this time not holding their body weight at the ruck. Sale sealing off, and a Quinn's penalty the result.
As epic a player as Tom Curry is, it always had potential for a turnover, this, didn't it? Because he was moving laterally and he's quick for a back row, but he's not quick for an outside centre, so actually it becomes quite an easy tackle. Get into deck, and his mates didn't get there quick enough.
Inside the 5, thank you.
Some good work from Cameron Anderson. Hasn't had a lot of game time with Quinns, but got an all-important arm in. And off the back of it, Quinn's moved deeper into enemy territory.
Timing, Bevan.
Just his 5th Premiership appearance, first for 6 months. Nick David ruled out with illness late on. Saw a bit of him a couple of years back, actually. Played in the big game a couple of years ago. Not too many opportunities in the first team since. Cunningham South for Quinns. Northmore, again, just a slight stutter as he moved into position. Smith now. Thinking about heading left, moving right.
He's so dangerous when he cuts back against the ruck, and the guys on the far side have been lazy. They'll stay connected there defensively, Sale.
Don Brandt moving into position. The Quinns supporters suggestive of a breach of the defensive line, I should say the offside line from the Sale Sharks. Care to Northmore, floats it over the top for Murley. Green on the inside, pass to Priya, and the pass is a good one. Here's Murley, back in business. Injured since the Six Nations, drafted back in, straight on the score sheet.
It's a fabulous finish from the back 3 of Quinns. Sale will be kicking themselves under the posts. They had loads of numbers on the far side. They only needed one more guy to get round, and then they had enough to cover. But this lovely little pass. There's only 2 guys there that go forward, then they've got to back off. This is an exceptional step out of a tackle. Looks like Rob Dupree had him, and then Murley stays alive and gets back in there and gets on the ball. Over for the try. All about the ability to stay alive with ball in hand. Look at that little step out. Lovely from Tyrone Green.
It's great to see him back. He's been one of their standouts when fit. Caden Murley played himself into international contention and has had to sit it out for all too long. Oh my goodness! Have you ever seen that? 1, 2, 3, 4 touches.
I don't think I've ever seen her hit it 4 times. He turned around, he'd taken the ball out the hole, he thought he'd had it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Strong spot.
4 times. Extraordinary. And that ends a run, by the way, for Marcus Smith of 26 successful kicks. The streak is broken via the woodwork. Cunningham South tries to set the target again for Harlequins, who are now in front, of course, by 3.
Still in the tackle zone.
Baxter, late delay for Don Brandt. Herbst, and the interplay is looking slick. Baxter again. Ball there to be won. Alasatelli with plenty to do. Smith, space opening up for Northmore. Across come the orange shirts, trying to close those holes. Herbst bounces through Bamba.
No, two, get out.
Tell you what, Quins are really keen in attack to test that inside shoulder, aren't they?
Don Brown had to deal with
Inside, thank you.
2 defenders onto him as soon as he gathered it.
Use it.
Getting through a lot of phases here on their own 22. I think Danny Care's had enough of it. Oh, the charge down from Bamba. Falls for Don Brown. Pops it up for Murley. Roebuck had to be lively. Here's Will Evans. Cut down by Rod.
Use it.
Johnny Hill trying to effect that charge down this time. Care clears it. Carpenter has it. Some lovely footwork freeing up George Ford. They're queuing up to the left. Here's Reed. Curry on his outside. Straight in with a clear out. Fast ball for War. Hill. Ford, change of plan, back to the left. Dupree still with great numbers. Curry, show on the inside, gave it to Van Rijn, frees the arms up. Marcy White is there and it's gone forwards. So good to that point.
So good to that point, and it all comes from a box kick from Danny Care. And the second he kicked it, watch him. He hates it, hates himself for that. He shakes his head, he knows it's too long, and from there, Sale have got all the time in the world to launch whatever they want.
Carpenter does so well, doesn't he, to get out the contact area, and they keep the ball alive. I think it's Jack Walker, actually, that makes the try-saving tackle. They go back to this side, and then Ford thinks, right, I've recognised there's no numbers defensively short side, throws a long pass, Curry puts the ball to the outside, and then just as this comes back inside from Van Rijn, good tackle there. Who's there to tackle him? Is it Jack Walker? Yes, it is. That is a try-saving tackle by a hooker of the quality that Cowan-Dickey showed in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, we're all
as good as the attack's been from both sides, defensively, there's been some really big moments.
And actually, that tackle from Will Evans then, I think it was on Johnny Hill or Ben Bamba in the midfield, really seemed to cut all the momentum from Sale. Really good read, really good shot. But George Ford did that thing where he's on the field and it's all going off, and he sees space even better than we do up here. He knew it had to go left. Absolutely the right call. So simple from George Ford, but so few players see it as quickly as him.
He plays in 2D, doesn't he? That's why.
Come on, say it again, say it again. Come on, Ben. Let's go. Come on,
And right up until May the 8th, the debate will rage about the Lions' number 10s.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
you're not saying he's going, are you?
No, I'm just saying he should be a contender.
Oh, he's a contender, but is he being picked?
The problem is he's not been playing
shock.
international rugby.
It'd be the biggest shock, wouldn't it, if he was?
But if you want experience and savvy and a brilliant team man and a coach on the field...
I'm not disputing any of those facts, but... You know, if you were Finn Smith or Marcus Smith and George went...
Never stationary.
Feel a bit aggrieved, wouldn't you?
His head's below his hips from the start and he's never stable, yeah.
Quins with a scrum penalty here. It's just interesting, isn't it? Because Finn Russell is quite obviously the only man with genuine experience now who's going to be considered in that 10 shirt over the summer against the Wallabies. The others are, relatively speaking, newcomers.
That's all I saw.
Yeah, in George Ford, I mean, Marcus Smith.
When your feet are always moving, then I'm
In Marcus Smith, you got a player who could go up. You could start him in all 3 tests, and he could be man of the series.
And in fairness, he's not. You can't call Marcus Smith a newcomer now.
No, and yet the same goes for Finn Russell. The same goes for Henry Pollock. The same. You know, there's lots of players who could go out there and play. George Ford is one of them. It could be the best player on the field. They don't all fit in that squad.
I guess it's in relation, isn't it, to Finn Smith, to Sam Prendergast. Amazing talents, but bursting forth very recently.
What I will say, and I know we don't want to talk about it for too long, is I think he facilitates other players better than any other 10, and I almost include Finn Russell in that.
So it's Reed off. That looked like a nasty fall as he came down. Aaron Reed, he get clobbered. Oh, he's straight back to his feet and happy to move back into position. Sale trying to make the most of their possession. Somehow kept the ball in field. Here's Van Rijn, and there should be some space out if they can move the ball quick enough. Look at the numbers here in orange. Dupree to Reed to Roebuck. Quinn scrambling well, but Once more, quick possession. Du Preez did nicely to his brother. Here's Cowan-Dickie. Opoku for George, trundling onwards, trying to shake off Green. Can he get the ball down? Oh, yes, he can.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a sensational finish. When does a prop ever get through the middle of the pitch?
Time off.
Waits for the offload.
Stuart, on-field decision to try. We just need to check whether the player or the ball was in touch further up the field.
Oh,
Understood.
the
Clear
finish.
Touch
He
check.
waits. He waits and then slides on the pass and thinks, do you know what? I'll just try and beat you for gas to the line.
That's fine, that's fine.
I'm going to wheel this back a little way, I think.
It's all the way over on the far touchline, isn't it? Dupree.
Yes,
They
Du
were
Preez, isn't it?
operating
Steps out.
in very tight confines,
Tuning
weren't
is
they?
this one, Simon.
Yeah.
Well, how strong is he?
No, that's not. That's not.
No. Worth looking at the Van Rijn pick-up as well. He's not. The ball's gone by then, I think.
Ball is kept in play, fellas.
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
How good's that offload from Hill? And that one.
All in.
Simon Harding was on that touchline and had a pretty clear view of it, I think. And it looks like he was right, keeping that flag down.
When Johnny Hill gets this ball up, he's so tall, his arms are so long, it's not as high as a box kick, that is.
I think that's all good, fellas. I don't see the ball going out or touching any object beyond the line.
Okay, so we have a decision that we're going to award a try.
Yes.
Okay, so our decision is that there's nothing clear and obvious to say that there is a player holding the ball in touch. So we will stick with our on-field decision. Rob?
And the conversion is strong as well. So Asher Opoku for Jaw with now 2 phenomenal runs inside the opposition 22.
This was one of those situations where Dupree actually speculated, didn't take the ball with much pace, but he's standing at 10, so it's entirely different. Defenders are questioning themselves, a couple of really good options. Bit of hurdling in there as well of prone Quinn's defenders, but Opoku for Jaw, that was fantastic. He is special.
He liked that matchup, didn't he? With Tyrone Green. You could almost see the smile spreading across his face as he thought, yeah, I'll take you on.
Yeah, having been in that backfield position as a smaller player and you see a prop come through, you think, oh, please don't run straight at me. Go on the outside, and then he goes on the outside, you think, oh, no, please don't gas me. That's even more embarrassing.
So the lead changing hands again.
Backwards off Orange, all open play.
Sale in front, 8 odd minutes to go in this first half. Curry on the ball and Sale looking stronger and stronger. That was not the cleanest of passes. Dupree has done well with it though. That might be 50-22. Stays in and Smith has it.
Quins!
Spiral.
Thank you, all on.
Up she goes from Ford. Reed on the chase. Northmore in the backfield.
Good contest. I know you did. Use it.
They're quite short, these rucks for Quins. This one's a bit longer for Danny. He's got more space.
Yeah, 1 charge down already. And he doesn't like that kick either. Again, it's gone too long. Reed for Ford, for Dupree. Marcy White straightens well, good power, the offload strong as well. Little dink over from Carpenter. Was there interference? That's gone forwards from Sale. Smith off on the counter, thrillingly.
Dombrand called over, Ali, by the way.
Back the other way.
Inside. Still inside.
Beard.
That's enough now, get out. Ball is in. Use it.
Care. For a little bit of extra distance here. Ford waiting for it. Reed running pleasingly onto it and into space. Some wicked footwork, and now that acceleration again. Once again, Sale camped deep in the 22. Ford, quick hands. Rod does well to keep that going backwards, but it's spilt ultimately, and Murley's off again. Kept alive through Evans. Canningham. This game is broken and bonkers.
Oxygen, please.
Smith, Beard, too many outside him. So he goes to the boot, and it's rolling. Ford with Anderson bearing down on him. Limited options. Smith takes that on. And he's wrestled into touch. The ball stays in though. Anderson now for Quins.
Give up now, Sale.
Herbst. Got to be some lungs bursting right now. Northmore clings on. Tries to hit the gap. Quickly out from Canningham to Green. Dombrandt now. Big shot from Roebuck. Evans. Sale digging in here defensively. Smith assessing the options, the short one to Green. Walker. Northmore.
Knock on advantage.
Knocked on and Sale off the hook, and now they might chance their arm. Ford whacks it away and says go chase. And chase they will through Cowan-Dickey, who's giving it everything he's got. It's a great kick, staying just in field. And there's plenty to do here for Harlequins. And Sale have won the penalty. Just too isolated, and then some back chat.
I think they're holding onto the ball again in the same spot as before. What a passage of play that is.
Come off.
How about the desire of that man, Flats?
Fantastic.
Okay, we have people deliberately slowing the game. They'll be penalised or sent to me. Now, off feet, leave the ball.
Do you know, I saw Cowan-Dickey a couple of minutes ago now, about 800 phases ago. I saw him fighting on the floor for a ball that he managed to turn over for Sale. He's putting big shots in, he's been fantastic, and you watch him chase this. Everyone's lungs just deposited all over this Twickenham Stoop field. He is flat out. And that's a man, for my money, who's on the plane this summer, that's for sure. Wouldn't go without him.
Right, looks like we're good. Let's go.
Which plane exactly?
Oh yeah, it's more than one plane.
Ibiza. Flats has got a big lads trip planned.
Off the line, guys.
The one going to Australia.
Amazing commitment, wasn't it? And if it hadn't been Quins trying to slow the ball down there, you sense arguably it might have been Sale also, despite the field position. Such was the
like that
exhausting nature of it.
And just say, wow. It's just all about desire. Yes, he's got no oxygen left in his body at all, so he just lets his brain take over.
Can they make the most of it? 4 minutes to go to half-time. And Cowan-Dickey might just get his reward here for all that work, for all that chase. Quins holding them well, but there might be some work on that far side here. Johnny Hill sets off to Prier and Rod with the clear out.
No lift, you're off your feet.
Opoku Fujor looks up, drives on there 3 meters away.
No, don't play the ball.
Cowan-Dickey looking to bulldoze through Cunningham South. Van Rijn now. They've got so many heavy carriers. Sale will try and do this the hard way. Dupree, lovely handling. Bamba's not far away. In goes Kenningham. Opoku Fujor to Curry. Swivels! No try for Tom Curry for 2 years until today for his club.
I just want to see if he lost control at the last minute.
On-field decision here is that he's got his second of the afternoon.
That man is made out of granite, isn't he?
Yeah.
Something harder. He gets absolutely smashed and then spins out the tackle. There he is, just in front of the ref. Wallop there and scores.
This is a lovely bit of skill, and yes, it looks nice, but actually it sells a lot of defenders because they don't expect it, so it catches Quins just a bit off guard, and Kenningham over the ball there. If he's finished that, he's done very well, Curry. Kenningham's got his hands on the ball. I think go for it. Absolutely go for it. He sort of half went. It was a half an effort to turn the ball over there. Fight for it if you think you got it.
Well, hit twice and somehow still finding the strength.
Matthew, just going to run that last angle again, so on replay.
Yeah, I think the last angle's the right one. It does show. Here we go. We know he's got control of the ball. Does it go down? Yes, it does.
Matthew?
Yeah.
You may award the try.
Okay, so we have a decision. On-field try. Will stand.
Bonus time for Sale. That's their fourth. Tom Curry's got 2 and the conversion's gone over as well. And now the Sharks have a little bit of breathing space. So impressive from this man who has come back from hip surgery in unbelievable fashion.
But whatever he's got taped up, it's his hand or his wrist. It's taped up. I've seen it a couple of times. It's really hurt him. And how he responds to it hurting him is he grabs it and then he accelerates back to work and flies into contact as if to prove to himself that it's not going to stop him. He's an unusual machine.
There's Jean-Luc Dupree.
Use it, you're inside.
Forward. A couple of minutes to play out here. They'll be delighted to get into the dressing rooms, you feel, with an 11-point buffer. Having been 10-0 down, remember, yes, some debate over the Cunningham score thanks to the forward pass that wasn't given, but they have responded so strongly, the Sharks. And their power game has been very clear. Over the top, swept up by Cowan-Dickey. Forwards with too much to do. Instead, Smith is away and Don Brandt fires onwards, but forwards. And back we come.
How did he get the pass away, Smith, then?
Yeah, didn't even see it from here.
That's lovely.
I'll tell you what, the slow-mo doesn't do justice. Poor pass from Cowan-Dickey. He's lost it.
Can you stay left of them?
The slow-mo doesn't do justice to this hit that Marcus Smith takes here. He got absolutely folded. Not a great pass. Stitches up George Ford. He gets walloped. How's he got that away? Amazing.
Yeah. I always think if you do get a ball over the top like that and you've won it against the throw, you should always kick it. Always kick it through.
No, you knocked it on first.
Because your guys are much further back.
Huh? That's right.
It's a fleeting moment.
Come on, Buns, let's go.
And they'll need to capitalise on a few of those through the next 40 minutes.
Crouch!
Hey, heavyweight.
Bind!
Hey, that's heavy.
Set!
Hit it, 1, 2, 3, go. Hey,
Smith will want this ball only on this side. I know if you get a right shoulder, it's really hard to defend, but
There's the time up.
if you're the 10, you're in control, you're demanding this ball off Danny Kerr. Give me a flat ball and let me take these guys on for
Make
pace.
sure your head's on the outside,
If
please.
you can get to Rob Dupree, everyone else has to step in, and it puts Roebuck in a whole world of pain. Sassy White, if you get on the outside of him, you just almost ignore him like he's irrelevant. He's not defending you, and you just try and pick out Rob Dupree's eyes. You're my player, step in on me, bite in on me. How much do you trust your inside defence?
Bind!
One last shot in this first 40 minutes. Clock in the red. The ball secure enough for Don Brandt. They've headed to the short side. Kerr with Green to his right. And Anderson as well, wrestling hard inside the 22. Kerr. Smith probing that inside channel. Need something here, you feel. Beard. Murley really wide. In comes Northmore. Sucking in those defenders. Murley rides the first challenge so well. And across comes Roebuck. And 1 or 2 sparks flying. As half-time is upon us. Bevan Rod fired up. Caden Murley and Quins denied. And that is the end of the first fascinating 40 minutes. Quins coming tearing out. Kenningham score. Early Smith penalty putting them 10 points up. But what a response from the Sharks. Cowan-Dickey, Curry twice, and that man, Asher Opoku-Fujor. They've got the bonus point on account of their 4 scores, and they lead here at half-time at the Stoop. All-important playoff contest. Harlequins 15, Sale 26. Bit of work to be done for Quins. May just be casting their mind back to Spurs and the game against Saracens. They were 12-0 down, remember there. Scored 23 unanswered points to claim that one and put themselves back in the picture for the top 4. But if they don't do something similar here, they are going to be all but out of that conversation, you would think. 11 points the difference, and Sale looking stronger and stronger. The benefit, I guess, from the conditions in this second period, Quins will have the wind at their back, and it is a stiff old wind.
It's a big win. It's just a really interesting first half. It was a bit harem-scarum, but actually the quality largely was really high. It wasn't just loose, there was a lot of skill involved, a lot of endeavour and fitness, and actually when the game broke up a bit, Sale probably looked the better team, ball in hand, despite any preconceptions you might have about Harlequins being the best at that kind of thing.
Yeah, the bonus point already secured on account of the 4 tries for Sale. Robot can't hang on to that one.
Knock on.
It's gone forward, so Quins have an advantage here. Kenningham has it.
Let go of him, you're on the body, let go. It's just a knock on.
Mentioned the bonus point. It's only their 8th across the campaign, Sale. And every other challenger has rather more. Smith, something from nothing. Northmore on the switch, and suddenly 50 metres upfield, Harlequins. And then the turnover. And Jean-Luc Dupria looks at the ref and says, really? Onwards from Curry, away goes Reed. And Anderson is going to have to be very careful here. He's got Sale jackalers all over the top of him. Tom Curry primary amongst them. And actually coming up with it is Raketi Maasi-White.
2 massive turnovers after a piece of absolute brilliance from Marcus Smith. Out of nothing, makes 60 metres up the pitch. Then Jean-Luc Dupria gets over the ball, picks him up like a rag doll, turns, throws him to the floor, gets over the top of him, and Maasi-White does exactly the right thing. Does he release enough with his left hand? Maybe not, but he gets away with it and gets the turnover.
Crucial intervention, and so close to the Quins try line. Sale immediately with a shot right at the start of this second half. Here's Cowan-Dickey, just short of the line. Bevan Rod is waiting, it won't reach him. They've got their 5th, and it's Johnny Hill, and they've started this second half as they mean to go on.
I'll tell you what you think about the work at the breakdown after the Smith break, which was fabulous, but the turnover was better. Sale ripped their way downfield. Nice, easy drills, very simple, because Quins don't go up, they stay down. They prepare for the maul, but there isn't one. Now, this is just a bit too easy. Herbst really has to hold his post as first defender there, but he can pile in. Actually, it's just a little bit too soft from second defender there. Is it Kenningham? Kenningham just twitches out. You see before he hits Hill, before he commits to Hill, he just twitches out. Just makes it a bit too easy for the 9-footer to get over.
Try against Toulouse a couple of weeks ago in what was broadly seen as a very creditable performance against
just on
arguably the best club side in Europe. Leinster might have something to say about it later in the season, but a try now here today for Johnny Hill. They lead by 31 points to 15.
Disastrous start to the half, isn't it, for Quins? They really are going to have to pull something out the bag. A long way to go.
Just aware I can't see a huge amount in it, Simon.
Rob Dupria somehow stepped past 2 defenders and then a third approaching that 10-metre line. Getting a little soft from Harlequins, just conceding metres. They've got to be defending.
I think you're right. It was really good from Jibulu because he backed up Johnny Hill in the lifting pod. It's exactly his job if it goes over the top, but they are easy metres.
Play on open play.
Kellingham for Harlequins. Evans, Smith, all lying a little deep. Bit of a Hail Mary from Anderson. It's been dropped on the outside. Knocked on by Northmoor, and Sharks will have possession as a consequence. These are worrying times for Quins, because you could see their season sliding away through the next 40 minutes or so.
It's been nasty, Bevan.
They've worked so hard through this season to develop a little bit more depth, to be able to try to battle on two fronts, which, as we know, for all the Premiership teams is a struggle at the moment, competing right at the sharp end of the Champions Cup. Of course, their semi-final appearance last year gave them heart that it might be possible, but they knew they had to rotate a little more, give players who perhaps were a tiny bit more on the fringes more game time. But it's all on the line here this afternoon for them.
Advantage on the
big
arm,
deficit to make
tight
up. The Sharks with a scrum penalty potentially. Jibulu into the midfield. Ford for Reed. Taking on Green, leaves it hanging, and Carpenter gathers it in.
Sale, advantage.
Ford and Bamba, massive lump coming thundering onwards. Former rugby league man. Ford again, change of plan. Reed on the inside, pops it up nicely. War is there.
Did well to take that, Reed, didn't he? A lot of traffic there.
Back for the scrum penalty.
Reed did well to take it. Ernie Herbst did really well to tackle Reed because he was going about 300 miles an hour. Ultimately doesn't matter. But TT Lamasatele penalised collapsing that. Easy call right in front of Matt Carley, the ref.
The arm and then collapsing.
Just look at the body language, though, now of all the Quins boys. Hands on hips, shoulders down a little bit. They need some energy from somewhere. They need someone to just bring them back to life.
If only they had a fly half who could do a bit, ball in hand. They'd be all right. They'd have a chance, wouldn't they? He could do it. With him in the team.
Keep the scrum up, and if I see your arm go under his armpit and your elbow come in, then...
Well, it's asking plenty, but it's not beyond the realms. Not with that sort of talent available.
Okay, no.
Handful of players on the bench you might
Luke in the middle,
to think they could make a difference too, as we enter the latter stages. In the meantime, Sale in the opposition 22.
That's over 15.
Funray, good transfer. Curry, and Cowan-Dickey, and then the ball loose and hacked onwards by Northmoor. Carpenter, straightening nicely. Cunningham South trying to hold him up.
Ball is available.
Rod. Ford, just a little static at the moment. Trying to close up those defenders. They've done it. They've done it very effectively. Bamba tearing up fields. The two locks enjoying the wide expanses. The offload from Hill to Curry. Quins scrambling in desperation rather at the moment. Opoku for Jaw sets it up once more. George Ford, Carpenter, Reed now. Plenty to do here. Does well, gets within 8-9 metres or so. And Van Rijn is upended in the midfield by Dombrandt. Quick ball for Ford. Floats a beautiful ball over the top. Curry, who's on a hat-trick. Lays it up this time. Jean-Luc Dupré at full steam. Huge impact.
Play on.
Loose for War. He had a lot to do to tidy that. And Quins are over it. And they've held him up. It's very unfortunate from Sale,
Time off.
who looked to have everything under control there. and the ball came out rather unexpectedly, and Quins quite rightly pounced upon it.
Potential head injury. Let the doctor check him. I think he said he's taken a bang to the head, so we just put time off while he's treated.
Yeah, okay.
Goal line dropout, sir.
Goal line dropout, yeah.
It's really enjoying watching George Ford today. Has a look, no options, very, very calm. Has a little look. It's like in 2D, like you say, Oz. It's like he's playing computer games sometimes. Finds the space. And what the two locks did down the right was fantastic. But just the awareness, the spatial awareness, the time on the ball of George Ford, making it look so easy at points today.
Replacement.
It was great, wasn't it, seeing Bamba and Hill go down the side. Like two giraffes scampering down the Serengeti.
Tom.
But they've just stepped up a gear. Sale have come out and they've gone up a gear in their physicality. There's a prime example of it.
That tackle from Ernie Herbst, I don't know if that's what we're looking at, but that was a monster shot on Dupree because he was travelling then.
Okay, all right.
So one change being made here by Alex Sanderson, and Tom Curry is coming off, replaced by Sam Dugdale. What a performance it's been from him.
Right.
Yet again, you could say it every single week.
Yeah. Let the medics off.
So Dugdale gets his shot.
Holding that hand, Curry. No, Flats mentioned it. This stage of the year, a lot of these guys are carrying things that most people would be straight to A&E with.
It's all right, he's got another one. It's fine. Poker for Jaw. Ford on the turn. Here's Carpenter. Lovely little outside break. Pops it out. Roebuck. He'll be wanting to muscle in on the try-scoring charts, already with 8 to his name in the league. That's gone in behind George Ford, beautifully picked up by Carpenter. A hop and a skip, and he's into the 22. Another excellent step.
Knock on.
But the ball's been knocked forwards in the process. Flipped on by Herbst, Green, Kenningham. Sort of position Quins usually love. Kenningham's doing well. Jaltema's on at 9 for Care. And Marcus Smith lets fly. Tricky bounce for Aaron Reid to cope with. And George Ford looking for territory. One bounce into touch, thank you very much.
Do you know what? He looked up then and he just saw Smith covering, and you saw him put that as low as he possibly could while still looking for some distance. He just saw Smith there, and he thought this ball's got to beat him to the touchline. That is fabulous.
He's ramping it up, George Ford.
Hang on, time off.
So much the driver of Sale standards.
Hang on.
Priceless ability to think clearly in amongst the maelstrom, Austin.
Had a fabulous game, hasn't he?
Walker, competition in the air. Ball still with Quinn. Smith. High and riding that wind. Oh dear, forwards from Beard. Very unfortunate. Sale possession now. Here's Ford to the line. Roebuck hit the line at pace. Good tackle made by Anderson.
Ball was out. The ball was out.
That's been knocked on in the process. Quinn's possession.
Hey, it's good news, because Asher Opoku for Jaw was in a bit of space in the midfield, and you know what happens there now. He's under the post, isn't he?
If you were watching this game, you'd think actually the wind was behind Sale. They've had all the field position, all the territory in this half so far. First 10 minutes. They've just pinned Quins in physically.
I think Asher Opoku for Jaw he's obviously a fantastic prospect, but earlier on, Oz, you said or might be you, Al, said it freak strength, and I think it can be like calling somebody naturally talented. It's like, well, he was born with that strength and he hasn't put any work into it, but I think you're right. At such a young age, he's nowhere near as strong as he will be in 7 or 8 years' time. Nowhere near. So actually, a lot of this strength, a bit of it's been built in the gym, but a lot of this has come from how he was made, and he was made good. He was made really good and really strong.
He's putting that shoulder to the wheel now against Finn Baxter, and that's a scrum penalty for the Sharks. Issues to attend to. That is Titi Lamasatelli under pressure from Bevan Rod, and incidentally they've got a few issues to contend with, generally speaking, Flats, in that front row. They had Simon Kerrod pull out late, Jordan Else onto the bench, and Wyn Jones, who's a loose head, is covering tight head on that bench. Yeah, and the thing is, a really easy call, absolutely the right call. He collapses, he goes so low, almost nosedives, loses traction, and collapses. Now, Wyn Jones here, top of the range, incredibly strong loose head. He's on the bench covering tight head, and you think we'll get him on. But it's such a different position. He's not a tight head, he's dabbled here and there, but it is the best way to describe it. It's like writing with the wrong hand. It's still just writing, but it's completely different. So, yeah, invariably illegible. Here's Bamba for Sale, bearing down on the try line again. Things looking ominous for Quins. Close to the line they go, beyond the line they go, and that looks like another score. Harlequins having to absorb some very difficult lessons this afternoon. Sale's power, clear for all to see. And that's number 6 for the afternoon, Jean-Luc Dupree.
And if this is given, Ali, this performance is as comprehensive, I think, as the one we saw down at Ashton Gate when they nilled Bristol. The power, their ability to apply pressure as well, both sides of the ball. And they just got, where you think the threats have stopped, another big carry. Defensive nightmare for Harlequins.
Yeah, I just seen he voluntarily went in.
Oh, they're getting beaten up here, aren't they? You're right, Oz, you wouldn't know which way the wind was blowing, or if there even was one. If you weren't here at the ground and you were just tuning in, it's all Sale at the moment, very dominant.
Fired wide by Rob Dupree, but that's 6 now, as we're mentioning, for Sale, and the last time they scored 6 on the road in the Premiership, September 2020. It's a long old time ago. They are finding form at the crucial moment.
They got 36 points, but I think they missed 5 conversions. I think they've missed quite a few. Maybe 8 points more could be on there. But they're putting a statement out there, aren't they, Ali? There's other sides watching now in this run-in and thinking, actually, don't really want to play Sale currently. There you say it. Maybe Bath will be analysing them a little bit stronger than they have been previously.
Okay, Sale on the line.
There's 3 of their 6 conversions this afternoon. Sale Sharks.
6 points then.
But it's all, thank you very much. It's also significant they're doing it away from home, because everyone knows that Sale's a difficult place to go. Everyone knows that. But if they do make a playoff semi-final, they're quite likely to be away from home. So this is important for them, an important message to the rest of the league, that they can do it away from Manchester.
1 and 3 Sale replacements. 1 and 3.
Changes in the front row. And
is that all?
a moment to enjoy a rampaging Cowan-Dickey and Opoku for jaw, and
it's just so good though, isn't it, the way he just slides on the pass.
He's made his way now, along with Bevan Rod. On come McIntyre and Will Griff-John on each side of that front row for the Sharks. Marcus Smith buffeted in the tackle by Ernst van Rijn. And Quins have got a lot of chasing to do from here. Anderson, Beard, really seen too much of him this afternoon. He's a wonderful player.
Use it.
Huge potential. Another of those who should be in amongst the conversation for an England place against Argentina this summer. Jaltema, they've pressurised that ruck and that box kick very hard. Sale done a good job of it too. Smith,
no 50-22.
Deep. Carpenter. Outside edge, but the job done for now.
First bit of pressure, isn't it, for Quins? You do sense this is now or never. I know there's 24 minutes to go. It's a good little tap back. Spots the space.
It was a good tap back. It was just, it was the first time in this half that Sale didn't compete for something. They took their eye off it a little bit. They all left it to someone else, and Gus Waugh, smallest guy on the field.
We're good, Quins.
Change of hooker for Quins. Jack Walker off, Nathan Jibulu is on.
Time's on.
And he's a man who looks like he means business. He's actually off to Sale next season, so he wants to impress his next employers. In the meantime, business to attend to here. Jaltema to Northmore. Something of a roadblock in the midfield. Jibulu running a dummy line this time. Jaltema again, here's Lamositelli. At the moment, being contained. Quins. Quick hands from Evans to Dombrand, he's a little upright.
Looked like on the ball to me.
Here's Jibulu. Very dynamic carrier.
Thank you.
Kenningham. At the moment, Sharks happy to absorb. Little dart from Evans. Jaltema back to this shorter side. Jibulu.
Advantage, no clear release.
And the penalty advantage. Smith. Short delay.
Penalty advantage, Quins.
Green. Lamositelli. Phase count heading up into big numbers as Northmore cuts a nice line, pops it off the deck. Smith floats one over the top. Cunningham South breaks free and gives Quins a lifeline.
Look good to me.
Will need checking. Matthew Carley feels satisfied upon his first look.
Just a couple of little bits of class from Marcus Smith. That delay on that pass just caused Sales to narrow up a little bit. The pass over the top, so often you'd see that lobbed way too high, giving defenders way too much time to get to the man on the outside. Of course, it'll all be checked. Quins didn't do anything special there. They kept hold of the ball. They weren't dominant, aggressive carries. They were just resourcing ruck after ruck after ruck, hoping Sale got disorganised, disaligned, tired on their feet. Marcus Smith, little bit of class, try time.
Yeah, I think the finish is good on the outside. Might just want to check that first pass, the delayed one. That one there. This is a lovely ball. Floated and weighted over the top.
He disguises it nicely too, doesn't he?
Matthew?
Yeah.
Matthew?
Yeah.
I want to show you a clear forward pass.
Oh dear, this won't go down well.
Stu, can you put it on the screen, please?
Coming up now. Pass from 10 out to the wing.
It's the ball from Smith.
This one forward, he accelerates after he passes to make it more disguised. I've seen them given both ways. This angle will tell us.
Ball's passed behind the cross mark, caught in front of the cross mark.
Does kind of leave his hands moving forwards. It's that you're right, it's that acceleration that changes.
He tries to disguise it by running through the pass.
Out of the hand, though. Simon, what do you think?
I'd be looking at the other pass first.
Okay. Forward or not for you? Okay.
It's been ruled out.
Come back, it's penalty advantage. Penalty advantage.
That feels like double jeopardy for Quins after.
Back to the penalty, yeah. What was it for? A long time ago.
After what happened earlier on, I guess, with the Kenningham score, they came out with the points. This time, not so much. Maybe that's maybe that settled things, but it's a huge disappointment. They still have field position, Harlequins.
No clear release on the 15.
But you felt like that might just breathe life into their campaign here.
I maintain it was a nice looking pass.
On the 15, it's on the 15.
It's not a legal one.
So into the corner they go.
On the line.
And it kind of makes this line out and these next few phases all the more important.
Wins 6 or 7. 6 or 7. 6.
So much resting on it. 20 minutes still to play. We know they can score quick and heavy. But they've got to get this done here, surely.
side. Use it!
Lauday has it at the back. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Jaltema calls for it, wants it. Short delay. Anderson. Quinn's had their score. And the whole stadium is lifted by it. Just maybe it's the spark they need in this second period.
It's a really clever play off a driving maul. When it gets stopped and you're told to use it, they line up all three runners. The setup's pretty good from Quinn's. But you just watch Sale, they're not getting budged from there. They've got too much power in that pack to move. They get another couple of metres, Quinn's, but it's not going anywhere. Now look at the three runners. The timing of the pass is really good. It means everybody's got to step in on the tackle. It's an inside shoulder tackle. Anderson times his run. Outside him, he's got Northmore and Beard also doing the same thing. Really difficult to defend when executed that well.
Back within 2 converted tries. Very, very significant, you feel, that try. Let's have a word with Nick Evans, part of the coaching staff with Quinn's. Nick of time?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think obviously the last one being chalked off. Don't get me started on TMOs and 4 passes in this game, but oh look, it's what we needed. We just got to move the game. You know, we've got to manage the game in our half and get it down. There's a pretty strong wind out there. We've got to use it better than we have in this first part of the second half.
Yeah, you're looking for Marcus to ping the corners a bit more?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just a bit longer in our kicking game. You know, force them to kick back to us, get our counter game going. We've just invited the pressure onto us at the start of the second half. Just like this, you know, like just get it down there, get a good kick chase, and then back out D to force some errors.
Yeah, it's as much mental, though, as you know better than anybody, isn't it, at this point? You feel like there's the requisite belief to pull this out from here?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think, look, the scoreboard does funny things to players, and you've just got to take that out of it and making sure we stick to the processes. You know, we can get ourselves back into the game. You know, one more, and it's all game on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for your time, Nick.
No worries.
Out it comes from forward to Johnny Hill. It's Sale who are building a bit more pressure. Again, trying to free that arm up.
Ball is available.
Ford. Tester in the backfield. Smith, eyes to the heavens. Calls for the mark.
What was he trying to achieve with that kick, Oz, do you think?
I don't think he caught it how he wanted. He thought the wind would hold it up a little bit more. Maybe land just outside the 22.
And that's a fine clearance.
Inside the half.
Taken play back to halfway. Shot of Tom Curry. 2 tries in the first half for him this afternoon. Rafi Quirk back in the mix.
5.
Warming up for a first outing in 3 months.
Do more guns, doesn't he, in the gym, Rafi? Looking a bit small.
That's just 'cause he's really close to the camera.
How was it? Look at that, 519 metres for Sale off 112 carries.
A penalty here to Harlequins. Taken quickly by Jaltema. He knows they need tempo, and they need to start catching Sale unawares now and again. Smith. Swing of the hips, and Dombrandt's onto the ball. Northmore running into a brick wall. Dupria and Maasi White waiting.
Let go of him, let go of him.
Jibulu. Oof. And that's what Sale have signed. Raw power and dynamism, and a trail of devastation in his wake. Anderson, Smith, Dombrandt, quick hands. Oh, so nearly so good.
Jibulu's carry is immense, isn't it? I mean, this is just raw power.
Time off.
Yeah, he's a good guy. From what we've seen of him, he's a very good guy, Nathan Jibulu, to get early and low. Because once he gets a couple of metres into his stride, he's very, very difficult to stop.
Time's off.
Had a handful of outings early season, then spent a little bit of time out on loan.
Thank you.
And the move to Sale next season, well, I guess a tantalising prospect, seeing him pair up with Opoku Fajor and Bevan Rod in a very, very dynamic front row trio. Hyron Andrews just about to be deployed, seemingly. And there's one or two people to take care of on the field as we take a sneak peek at the Stonex, where Saracens will be taking on Gloucester immediately after we've finished here at the Stoop in another very important battle in mid-table. Gloucester going into this one in 4th, Sarries in 6th. There's only 2 points between them. You just feel like here today and there at the Stonex, really pivotal contest that might just change the picture of the way the playoffs look.
Yeah, definitely. It's not done and dusted by any means. There's still, obviously, after this weekend, 20 points to pick up. So even if Quinn's got nothing here and won the remaining 4 games with bonus points, they'd score more points than you required last year to finish 4th. I do think it's going to be higher this year. I do think 4th place is going to be round about the 60-point mark. So you need more wins, but also those bonus points, they could be absolutely critical as they start to bank up now. Leicester 41, Gloucester 41, Sale looking now they're on 44. If they go on to win this with a bonus point, Quins don't pick up anything else. If you don't win each weekend, you can just find yourself in that 6-point gap creeping up, and then it becomes really tough to see your way through. But I think Sale need a bit of energy here, a little bit new energy, new legs. Maybe bring Rafi Quirk on. They've just brought on Bedlow, I think, into the midfield, which I think is a good idea. Just get a few fresh legs out there. Not necessarily the legs, but their voices.
So off comes Raketi Maasi White in the midfield. Sam Bedlow there now, and Alex Wills has come on for Joe Carpenter. Andrews for Johnny Hill as well. Not quite the entirety of the Sale bench. Tyg McElroy and Rafi Quirk still waiting their turn. Big scrum from Sale. Penalty if they want it. War is caught.
Stood up under pressure.
Quins are in a really difficult spot at scrum time, obviously because they're getting pushed backwards, but because of what I said before. Normally, Lamasatele, Rafi Quirk's on now, look, for Gus War. Lamasatele would just be subbed off and the reserve tight head would come on, because everyone has a rough day, but their reserve tight head is a loose head. So there's every chance he comes on out of position and gets hammered. So this is a top-of-the-range loose head we're looking at, but it's very, very different playing on the other side if you're not one of the very small percentage of guys that just do both naturally.
What have you got to lose, though? Because the last 3 scrums are penalties against you, so still a penalty against you. You got fresh legs around the field. It's worth. I think it's the dice that is worth throwing currently.
Yeah, yeah. But the presumption is, I think you're probably right by this stage, Oz. The presumption is you got your front line tight end and he's having problems. You trust him as a natural in that position to work it out. So work out what's happening and counter it, as he would have done many, many, many times. But it doesn't seem to be working. And anyway, it looks like Lamasatele's hurt himself.
Well,
it's coming on.
I thought that might have been an option. He actually said it was an option.
Coming off, so we'll do it now before we restart.
When was it? It was the game against Bath where Wyn Jones had to cover tight head, wasn't it? And it didn't go terribly well that day. And Adam Jones said himself, I was only a short time away from gathering up my boots.
They are going to chuck a load of weight on behind him as well at Launchbury. So as long as he doesn't bend, he's not going to go backwards.
I think it's rough on props. Flats, I think 90% of the rugby watching public just assume they're big men who can push very hard. So what does it matter which side of the scrum they're on?
Well, I was a loose head, and once I had a rough day at tight head in the Prem, doing a favour for my club team. And an England coach at the time said to me, why are you going backwards? A prop's a prop. Doesn't matter what side you play on. And that was an England coach. And I thought to myself, you couldn't be more wrong. In the end, I said it instead of just thinking it, and it did me no favours. Did me no favours, Al.
Honesty always the best policy. That is a very fine kick. A very fine kick from quite a narrow angle. And it's given Sale an excellent platform once again.
I tell you what, massive kick that, and a massive moment this for Quins.
Receiver, perfect.
If they concede now, you reckon they're toast. We know what they've got in them, especially with Marcus Smith out there.
Up goes Bamber, who's been a big presence today.
Stop once.
And Cowan Dickey says, I'll have that, please.
Sale, use it.
And they move slowly, quietly. Quirk away to Dupree. Little blast from Bedlow. Ford instructing Quirk to go back in the other direction. There's McIntyre. Van Rijn. All hands to the pumps here for Harlequins. Game rests on it potentially. Dupree, Reed, snared well by Anderson, who's defended stoutly on that flank today.
It's Murley there with a turnover, I think. He's done really well to get his hands through the wall.
Absolutely priceless. Given the field position, given the timing.
Use it. That ball's out.
Jaltema.
Ball's
Clearance is a strong one.
Still live.
I've enjoyed Sale's back play from right to left. They just put Reed just behind the shoulder of Dupree. And if Dupree thinks that the guy in front of him is going to step in, he gives him a shoulder ball. If he doesn't, he gives him a slider and he goes on his gas on the outside. Very difficult if you're that defender in front of Dupree then to make up those meters on someone as quick as Reed.
So good from Murley, that, wasn't it? Mind you, with guns like that, with pipes like that, you should be turning ball over. You don't need those to score tries, do you?
Up goes Andrews for
Down by
Sale. You might need to do it all over again here. Look at this burst forwards. Magnificent from Dugdale. And again, they're in that 22.
Good contest.
Causing trouble. Andrews on the carry. Jaltema to Ford. Bedlow. Well met.
Tackle.
And Waghorn in there. Slid through by Rafi Quirk. Cross comes Cameron Anderson. And the cover is there from Sale.
Use it. Not now, you're off your feet. Use it.
Jaltema, Bamber being urged into action by his teammates to try to effect another charge down. And well, he's put sufficient pressure on that the clearance isn't too big. And Sale will like the look of this line-out position.
Not sure the little chip through from Rafi Quirk was the option, Oz, and if you're going to put it through, at least it's got to get towards that touchline and put him under a bit of pressure, isn't it? All too easily dealt with.
Yeah, could have executed slightly better, but they're still down here. They're still in the red zone, effectively.
Lovely one-handed gather by Bamber. Rob Dupree battering his way through Marcus Smith. He's approaching the 22. Quirk to Van Rijn. One quick ball, but over it go Harlequins, and they've got another turnover.
First arriving player
Crucially,
from your team.
Still in this.
Stay there.
Smith.
Onside.
Spiral downfield. It looks pretty, but it's ended up with Alex Wills. And Wills accelerates. Ford to Bamber again. Using him wisely today, Sale. Van Rijn. Little isolated. Lauday's got a sniff at this. Oh, he's got it. Nicked it back. Here's Wyn Jones. Launchbury now.
High advantage. Number 6. Too much from you. Advantage.
And Van Rijn has fallen foul of Matthew Carley. What have they got on the counter here? Harlequins, Northmore skips free, and Murley's on the move.
That's fine. Coming back.
Back
Number
we come
6.
for a Quinn's penalty.
2 breakdowns in a row. It's not your job to do that. Thank you. Number 6.
It's a really good ball presentation from Ernst van Rijn, but Lauday's got very, very long telescopic arms, it turns out. Really, really good turnover that from Lauday. And I guess Ernst van Rijn is being penalised for back chat, is he? Or telling the ref?
I think twice he was reffing the game effectively.
Macy's got the breath.
Well, he's conceded quite a lot of ground off the back of it. And Quins know they need points fast. Game management from here, all important. Jibulu with the delivery, it's over the top of Cunningham South, and Sale have it. And then Ford's kick is charged down by Smith. And it's there, I think, through Waghorn, and here is Smith again to the line. Baxter still going strong.
No, Simon.
Jibulu.
Advantage.
Another penalty given up. Smith, delay for Murley.
Penalty advantage, Quins.
We've got a freebie here. Chance for Smith to try anything. Doesn't matter. It's a freebie. Little chip off the outside of the foot, anything. Not into someone's head.
Looking for that big one out wide to Northmore.
21 was in front, I believe. We'll come back.
Always
Off feet
knowing
and playing the ball.
that he had the penalty. So 2 converted scores quite obviously draws them level. They've just got to go for it, haven't they? Got to go for everything from here.
Sort of watch Marcus Smith, and he's got so much ball in hand. He's desperate for someone to offer him an option with interest, really, and he likes a delayed pass. He could bring defenders onto him, but there aren't enough Quins players for me. And I'm really, I suppose, pointing the finger at the midfielders, but not just them alone. Really offering him anything that's really threatening the Sale defence. He's putting nice delayed passes in, but he's sending people into brick walls. It's all a bit narrow. It's not quite flat enough. You almost think the lads around him could step up a level and make his job a bit easier here.
Yeah, it's not quite clicked in that regard today. But they've got a shot here. Dombrand pops it away to Jaltema. Cunningham South. The kind of trademark bruising run he's become well known for. Dombrand again. Jaltema, quick ball. Big shot from Van Rijn. Wide they go. Smith to Green. Raising the temperature here, Harlequins, as they surely need to. The clock very much against them.
Tackle!
And arguably the rest of their season hanging on these next few moments.
Tackle, let him go!
Once again into a very busy midfield.
Use it.
Slow ball. Launchbury on the rumble. Baxter. Murley. Jaltema. Smith to the boots. And into touch it goes.
It's good defence from Sale. Lots of numbers in front of them. Very difficult to make anything happen.
If it's clear on the replay. Number 1, Quins, replacement.
But I just
Time
think that man there
Quins, replacement.
is slightly off his game.
If it's clear, the TMO will come in and reverse
Just
it.
think Marcus Smith, for me,
Quins replacement.
his energy levels aren't what I've seen from him in the past. He's not out the back. Look, he's not on that out the back ball. It's Murley that takes it. There were 3 phases before. He had the opportunity to get the ball out the back from Baxter. Not there in position. He's not standing up as a front line. He's pushing other people into channels to try and make them carry. When I've seen him at his absolute best, to start this season all the way through till probably January, February, he wants the ball all the time. Give me the ball, give me the ball. I don't see that from him at the minute. I see a lack of body language when he's out there. I don't like to pick on him and I don't like to speculate, but on these performances, I don't think he goes to Australia.
Well, it's been a difficult few months, hasn't it? Moved around by England from 10 to 15 to the bench. And he hasn't really been able to thread performances together consistently from one position. We know he wants to play 10. Quins wants him at 10.
Previously, everything he touched turned to gold. Everything. Either off his feet or out of his hands. It's not currently going his way, unfortunately.
Well, time's running out here for Marcus Smith and for Harlequins to make a dent this weekend, at least, on the Gallagher Premiership League table. It's looking like Sale are going to leapfrog for the moment. Gloucester and Leicester will move into 3rd. And as significant as their try scoring has been today, their ability to shut teams out will be examined in these last few minutes as well. That was knocked forwards. we've spoken so much about the attacking game plan of the likes of Bristol, of Gloucester, of Saints in full flow, of Harlequins when they're at it. I just wonder over the next few weekends whether the conversation is just going to flip to who exactly has got the mettle to shut teams out.
Which python can strangle you to death? And currently, Sale have a boa constrictor as good as any.
Here's your mark. Sorry. In that space.
You've got to look at those. No, they've had some bad days at the office too, don't get me wrong.
Give him a chance.
But it may ultimately come down to who can close Bath down better than anybody, who can contain the power and the running threat combined that they have. They're looking like runaway leaders at this stage. Playoffs, as we know, totally different dynamic. But Sale look very well placed to challenge. Smith to Murley to Green. Did well to get that away to Anderson. Been impressed with him today. Launchbury, tip on for Cunningham South. Still trying hard, but they're into the last 5 minutes. And the points have got to come quickly. Benson gets it away. Jibulu! Nathan Jibulu! It's still on. It's a long shot, but it's still on.
Wow, it really is still on. There's 4 minutes to go, conversion to come, which will be critical. But just as this gets to the outside, it's an absolute smash in the tackle. Anderson does well to stay alive. And then if you look at the bottom of your screen, Rafi Quirk, watch him, he's tracking across. Where's he going now? He just runs too far forward, rather to the side. He thinks he's going to get stepped. Doesn't need to go that far forward and runs past the tackle zone. Look at him, he knows it on the floor as well, makes it easy. It's a good finish.
Oh, no, I just had it in, thank you.
And it's served on a plate for Jibulu. Got it, is he?
Oh, in off. And they're 7 behind with 3 minutes to play.
Well, you felt like Quins might be short on the left because Caden Murley was still, he'd taken a knee because he got whacked by Alice Wills in the tackle. But Rafi Quirk got himself in the right place. He really had to obviously make the tackle, but he had to, as a second choice, plan B, get to that touchline and force Jibulu inside. In the end, he gave him a free run in. Just as we were talking about the Sale Sharks defence, been so good. Let itself down then, albeit very nicely done by Quins and that man.
Well, that's their bonus point score. So they'll take something away, and at the moment they'll take 2 points away from this contest. But still plenty to play out in the next 3 minutes. Alex Sanderson's face suggestive of a director of rugby who's wondering why they're making life so difficult for themselves here. The crossfield kick picked out by Anderson. Interesting play from the 22. They've secured possession, which is all important. And they need to hang on to that ball as long as they can. Oh, that's loose! And it's swept up! And it's game over! Tom Roebuck! Quins chasing the game. Sale shutting them down.
Quins chasing the game. Sale wondering if they've gone too early, if they've quite got the stamina to hang on. It's all in the balance, and they are gifted a win. They are gifted a win. They've been the better team. Quins have got themselves right back into it. That was loosey-goosey.
Ben Waghorn, who'd done so well to draw in those defenders, but the man who's trying to get the ball to was just that bit further away.
He'd done all the hard work, hadn't he? But then at this point, he gives it too early. Just ride the tackle, let both of them, your hands are free, let both of them take you to ground, and then lift it into the space. Oh, he is not going to enjoy watching that. He's not sleeping tonight.
Poor bloke. I mean, he's come on trying to do something. The fight back's on, the comeback's on. Poor bloke. Big error, that.
A huge moment. And that's what pressure does. Pressure of the situation in the league, pressure on the scoreboard, pressure on the clock. And a young man who's made big waves this season, Ben Waghorn, he's really begun to offer himself as a genuine threat in the midfield for Harlequins. Has given up the game.
Use it.
final minute. Sharks in full control, but they've spilt the ball forwards. Time for your player of the match, Austin.
Well, there's been some great performances, as you'd expect. That man there, Luke Cowan-Dickie, has had a fantastic game. But he's been that all the way through the pack. Tom Curry, as you'd expect, when he's on 2 tries, almost got a hat-trick. Again, fantastic performance. I think Carpenter at the back is one of the sort of silent assassins in this team. He does so much, but this team is an army now. They're a proper army, and they've got one hell of a general that controls them in George Ford. And just for his sheer control, his knowledge of the game, his awareness, seeing it in 2D, he's our Gallagher Premiership player of the match.
Big shout from the Sale pack again. Don Brandt under pressure. Smith flings it wide. Murley's out there. Green tracking him on the inside. Sarri's Gloucester to come, of course, from 5:15 this afternoon. Live on TNT Sports as the playoff race hots up. Launchbury drops it off to Launchbury. Wyn Jones, what about that? Lorde to Jaltema. Oh, the final pass to Smith wouldn't stick.
Tell you what, that was nearly sensational.
Could have played the advantage and they scored.
Any idea why everyone's booing?
Wow, there was some good stuff in there. Wyn Jones did so well here.
Sharks ping for offside, so one last chance for Smith to stick this as close to the flag as he can.
Could be important, this, Ali, losing bonus point.
Yep, one more bonus point on the line, of course.
On the line, guys.
He's not gone as deep as he would like. The league is so congested, and the results have been so wild that you would write nothing off. This isn't going to eliminate Harlequins from the equation mathematically. It just makes it exceptionally difficult. Here's Waghorn trying to make amends to get up to that 22-metre line. Smith, change of plan. There are a lot of Sharks defenders that way, Marcus. Jaltema to Launchbury. Something of a pile driver of a tackle from Dugdale. Clock deep in the red. Here's Benson to Kenningham.
Not quite, no lift.
Smith to Murley. Quinn still chasing that losing bonus point to add to their try bonus point. Jibulu now made his mark against the club that he's joining next season. Benson, Green, they keep coming. Anderson.
You backed out.
Keeping it alive nicely. Launchbury rolls and presents. Back they go, some tired bodies. This game has been played at a hell of a lick for the most part. Been some extraordinary passages, long, exhausting passages of play. Jaltema is caught. And has that gone forwards? It's gone backwards in the eyes of the referee. And there's the penalty that finishes it. Quinn's running out of road and running out of gas finally this afternoon. Sale celebrate, and the Sharks are circling. The playoffs well within sight for them. They look menacing on this sort of evidence. 1 or 2 lapses and some defiance from Harlequins, particularly towards the end, but a hammer blow for them in the overarching analysis for their chances of a top 4 spot. Full time at the Stoop. Harlequins 29, Sale 43.